Hello everyone and welcome back to What Matters and News Summaries. Now before we begin, two things to clear up. Firstly, I'm doing this much earlier in the day. As you can tell, the Spurs are on at 2 o'clock, so priorities. Secondly, I'm doing it over the other side of the room because my curtain rail has fallen down, which is why you've got this rather bright light coming in the background, so I hope it's not too distracting. Now, we're going to start on Monday with the PM releasing the roadmap for recovery out of the third lockdown. I'm going to re-emphasise some of the points from his news briefing and announcement to the nation, as well as the infographic I posted recently, which a lot of you seem to have benefited from, which is great. So let's start on Monday. So step one of the roadmap. On the 8th of March, we'll see schools reopen, as well as 2 people allowed to meet outdoors for a chat, not just exercise. From the 29th of March, outdoor gatherings of 6 people or 2 households will be permitted, and outdoor sports, including tennis, football and golf, will be allowed to resume on the 29th of March also. Now, 5 weeks later, no earlier than the 12th of April, we can see shops, hairdressers and gyms reopen, as well as some hospitality such as zoos and theme parks. 5 weeks later, no earlier than the 17th of May, we can see most social contact rules lifted, as well as indoor mixing. And 5 weeks later, that beloved date, the 21st of June, which is the day my bank account is going to be rinsed, we can see the end of all legal limits on social contact. Now, it's also worth noting there's some vaccine positive news here. So, data being released after the 4th week after the first dose of a jab, hospitalisations were reduced by 85 and 94% for the Pfizer and AstraZeneca jabs. Quite badly worded, but early evidence that the vaccine scheme is working, which is great. So, starting on Tuesday. In a new BBC documentary featuring Zara McDermott, Revenge Porn, she explores the impact of revenge porn on her mental health from the age of 14 when she was pressured to send intimate photos of herself. She says she felt like the criminal after she was suspended from school and not the person who spread the photos of her. In 2020, Revenge Porn Helpline saw an 87% increase in the number of adults seeking support, seeing over 3,100 cases. The full article is below and Zara's documentary is streaming now on the BBC iPlayer. On Wednesday, New Zealand rescuers saved 28 pilot whales from a notorious beach in New Zealand where they repeatedly beached themselves. The long-finned pilot whales are part of a mass pod of around 50, first found on Monday at Farewell Spit. Sadly, at least 15 from the pod have died, but the surviving whales have remained close to the shore and could beach themselves again, wildlife experts warn. On Thursday, the Prime Minister has defended plans for teachers to grade GCSE and A-level exams this summer. Schools will determine students' grades using a combination of mock exams, coursework and essays. There's still concerns, however, over grade inflation and how best to avoid a wild west of grading, the Education Chairman Robert Halfon has said. Results will be published earlier in August this year, allowing time for more appeals. The government's obviously learnt from last year's appeals system. A-level results day will be the 10th of August and GCSEs will be 2 days later on the 12th. On Friday, Shamima Begum, who left the UK to join the Islamic State ISIS as a teenager living under their rule for 3 years, will not be allowed to return to the UK and fight her citizenship case. Announcing the ruling, Lord Reed said the Supreme Court unanimously allows all the Home Secretary's appeals and dismisses Miss Begum's cross appeal. He added the appropriate answer would be to pause her legal fight for her citizenship until she's in a safer position to take part in her appeal. She's currently in a camp controlled by Syrian guards. On Saturday, more than 2,600 households have been evacuated after an unexploded World War II bomb was found in Exeter. Officers were called to the University of Exeter halls of residence on Glelthorne Road as 12 halls of residence had to be evacuated. The bomb was said to be 2.5 metres long, and on Saturday there will be a controlled detonation of the bomb in a walled box filled with 400 tonnes of sand. The city was heavily attacked by German bombers in 19 raids during World War II. And on Sunday, the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak's budget will be one of the most closely watched in years as he charts the financial roadmap for the country. On Wednesday, the 3rd of March, he will outline the economic future for the UK, and here's some headline statistics you should know about the whole COVID sort of statistics that have come across this year. So, debt is at its highest since 1963, with the total amount the government has borrowed hitting 270 billion and could reach 393 billion by the end of the financial year. Public sector net debt have increased to over 316 billion over the 10 months since last April. Unemployment is at its highest in 5 years. Luckily, 9.6 million workers have been covered by the furlough scheme, but still young people have been hit badly by unemployment, with them accounting for 46% for the overall fall in employment. And finally, the number of self-employed people has fallen by 3.12 million, and the Resolution Foundation says that 2.3 million workers are still missing out on financial help from the government. And that is this week's news summary. I hope you found it informative and helpful. Now go out and enjoy the sun, which you've probably already done because this comes out at 9 o'clock. And I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I'll speak to you all later on.